is day one of Welcome to Derry. You guys ready? And action.
First day on set.
The magnitude of it is unfathomable.
It's super exciting.
Once we were done with the movies, there were things left that we wanted to tell.
Originally, we wanted a prequel movie, but then it evolved into something bigger. Welcome to Derry is based on the interludes of the book.
The interludes show you a little morsel of the history of it.
I thought if anyone would believe me, it'd be you guys.
This story's insane. Look where it's coming from.
We are taking those important events and shedding some light around it.
Our first season is 1962, which is 27 years before the first film in 1989. Andy came up with the idea of going backwards.
There's a different kind of fear in 62 than there was in 89. There's racial issues. There is a specific fear of a nuclear attack and war. People here are more concerned about an attack from Russia.
The supernatural fear is a byproduct of the fear in everyday life. Fear of the unknown, of what is different to us. We see our children who are witnesses to this fear, and then we see the adults who create a lot of this fear.
Everything about Derry relates to our real world, to the point where everything horrible that happens in Derry can actually happen in every town in America. This is where it becomes almost like a symbol. Does it exist because we believe in it? But there's always that lingering question. Is all of this product of supernatural evil or the evil intrinsic to human beings?
What is that?
A clown.
Andy had such a good time working with Bill Skarsgård that being able to also continue to explore Pennywise, but also the man before Pennywise, Bob Gray, that was something that attracted us a lot.
Pennywise is such a mystery. We wanted to know more. Telling the story of the indigenous people is very important because they are the ones who faced this evil for the first time. It's a story that is not seen before in the It movies. Our journey was an inventive path because there are a lot of things that we don't know because they don't exist. In this series, our attempt is to unveil certain of those mysteries, but create some others. This season focuses a lot on the theme of family. The Hanlon family is in the center of the story. Leroy Hanlon is the grandfather of Mike. Mike is one of our beloved characters in Chapter 1. In this series, we tell the story of Leroy as a younger man.
We really wanted a prototypical 1962 nuclear family. A staunch father, a military man, a mother who seems on the surface like a stay-at-home mother, but she's got a lot of her own stuff going on. And then you have the son who's very different from the father.
It's exciting to explore the life of that family, how they arrived for the first time to Derry.
Don't be looking for trouble.
There's gonna be trouble anywhere we go. That's the country you swore your life to defend.
I love period pieces. I was having a blast throughout this whole time, man, just being a fan of the franchise. It's been a treat.
When I read the script, I really love that we're tackling both the existential but also like the material realm and the hardship of, I guess you could say, our ancestors.
We go into the military world because it was the height of the Cold War. There is a very important naval base in Maine.
The Black Spot is one of those tragic events that we chose to build our story around.
The Black Spot is a speakeasy for African-American airmen who were serving on the Derry Air Force Base. According to the book, Dick Halloran was there. Dick Halloran, who is one of the most iconic characters in the lore.
We decided to give him a bigger dimension and a bigger protagonism in this story.
When I read the scripts, I was very excited. I remember being like, oh, this is like a chunk of an exploration of his soul.
The general teams up Dick Halloran, who is a guy that has supernatural powers, with Leroy Hanlon, which is a man without fear. Those two characters make a very good team to accomplish the mission that Shaw has in mind.
Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3!
It's been magical. People will be immersed in a world that is very rich, funny, scary as hell.
Hopefully we take the fans into a journey of exploring those obscure events in the past of the story. It acts in mysterious ways. Very often he appears only to his victim as their worst fear, and then when the victim is scared enough, he will eat them. Why does it target kids? Mainly because kids are the most capable of believing in things that don't exist.
The supernatural fear depends on what one believes, right? We see our children who are witnesses to this fear, and then we see the adults who create a lot of this fear.
It can do a range of different things, and one of them is create fogs in adults where maybe the picture was there, but they didn't see it.
The statue.
No, are you blind? It's a cloud.
The only thing this is proof of is that you, Lily Bainbridge, are trying to buy yourself a one-way ticket back to the nut house.
And the fog of Derry is the way that its existence in that town affects all the grown-ups. They see horrible things, kids go missing, and no one panics. What it does for it is it allows it to have its feeding cycles without any meaningful resistance.
The fog is a byproduct of fear. So rather than facing the monsters, people simply forget.
Each of the characters, they have their own traumas. So the horrors that appear in front of them are a reflection of their own personal fears. Will is terrified of the image of his dad on fire. It uses this to season his fear.
For that sequence, we built a robotic fish that could swim, and we had to keep it on a line so it didn't disappear down the river, but we could have it swim in a circle around their feet through the rocks.
You just see an arm come out of the water and grab him and pull him in. So we just had a burnt arm, like a glove, slip-on glove, because I had to be on a stunt double that was underwater that could reach up and grab Will.
That scene, I'm telling you right now, was probably the coldest I've ever been in my life. I wasn't even really focused on the burnt arm that was at my display. Like, it was just so cold. And I had to act like I wasn't shivering in it.
They pulled me under!
Wait, what?
With you!
You gotta relax, you're not making any sense.
It's the truth!
Calm down!
Leroy wants to believe the things that Will is explaining to him are happening, but it's outlandish. Leroy, he's a military man. He knows about the horrors of war, but even if I can't see what he's seeing, I can see the fear in my son's eyes, and that's enough, I think, to get any parent's attention.
There's something here. In Derry. Something bad.
All right, no more running around till I find out what's going on around here.
What?
School and back, and that's it.
Mom! I've been playing Charlotte as someone who knows, but not knowing, not being able to name it. There's this energy that's pernicious. Something's afoot.
This business with the missing kids, do I need to be concerned?
Rose does this thing with her eyes that's just so penetrating, like she can see things. And I think Charlotte's wise enough to know this woman knows something.
You know the story about the monster in the Western Wood?
The Galoo?
Mm-hmm.
All the kids know that story.
For me, it was very important to give protagonism to the people that lived in Maine in ancient times and that is still living in Derry.
They were the first to encounter it because they were living in the land before anybody else. They have a lot more knowledge about its meaning, rules, and logic. They stay away from it. The white men, not so much.
I was actually really surprised at some of the parallels between how it is whatever you are afraid of and the horrors that the introduction of white settlement and religion actually has done in real life to indigenous populations.
it started to expand because he could get more food thanks to the settlers that were walking into the Western Woods, the forbidden zone of this people for centuries. What the indigenous people created was a cage around it. If it wasn't for the indigenous people, it would have taken over the world.
Our young Indian friend, Daniel is his name, he knows the location of exactly what we're looking for, but he refuses to answer our questions. So Airman Halloran is going to answer them for us.
Daniel has a duty to do, and he is in this secret society, the Children of the Maturin, and this society is there to protect people of the entity It.
When he first meets Daniel, it's for Dick to do the same thing he did to Leroy. Get in his head, find the key, solve the puzzle. Should be easy peasy, but he sees me as just a military guy, spits in my face. He did it a lot. I didn't like it. And I think Dick recognizes a bravery and courage in this guy who has no powers. He just is holding tight to something in his head.
Remember, this is our entire lives as the children of Materna, are to watch those pillars, guard the knowledge around that cage. Seeing 1962 and then going back into generations before then and seeing the connection between those relatives is a really powerful thing. So within that, allowing a person to step into our experience and feel the deep, deep anxiety that we've been doing this for hundreds of years, and you're gonna come in and threaten that.
Where are they now? The pillars. You can tell me.
People are going to feel a bit of the genetic trauma that we carry as Indigenous people.
Today, we are filming Dick's Exodus into Hell.
And action.
In the helicopter here, there's one guy, his head space is gone, and he's trying to get out of the helicopter. With Chris personally, this is my first day. He likes that we're giving any kind of tips that we can. They're also willing to put the pads on when the time comes, but the actors are gonna do most of the action, and they're probably gonna take a hard hit to the deck.
Where we're going with Dick, he's going to be torn asunder. So crafting that has just been tough on the spirit, but like, that's what we do. That's the gig. We're talking about the cistern. First off, that set, bro. That set is rock and roll.
Chris Chalk's character, Dick, has a sort of a vision, and he's kind of walks into the cistern. We recreated the door that he came through and the pile of toys in the old wagon.
We're getting to the point where Pennywise goes, "What are you doing in my backyard?"
We had some vintage bikes and baby carriages and stuff. We're just trying to make sure it looks like this stuff belongs. It takes months and months to get all this stuff and aged and built. It's just amazing.
I think there's a tendency to shy away from uncomfortable stories, and I think the more that we feel the responsibility of sharing them, I think the more we'll see those stories. It's important to know where we came from in order to know where we're going. This is a way of sort of using a piece of material that has a huge fan base and allowing them to explore moments in history that maybe they wouldn't have explored. If it was a family moving to a town in Texas during the Jim Crow era, maybe we wouldn't have gotten as much visibility as using a Pennywise in this strange town. It was a really fortunate combining of elements to make a really complex and interesting story.
I would have told my younger self, you can literally create your life into anything you want it to be. And I think that the biggest lesson that I've learned is to stay curious. This is really fun. You know, Einstein said that every human being has to make a choice whether or not we live in a friendly or hostile universe. And I would have told my younger self, you need to make sure it's always friendly. Because for a long period of my life, it was very hostile. When I was younger, I was very angry because my dad was never in my life. It took me a long time to forgive myself because I thought he didn't love me, and he did. And so I would definitely tell myself, it's not your fault.
We'll carry on with the scene. So this will be just for
What the hell are you wearing?
with our hill tags.
Please stand there. Is this who I really am?
Well, I can really just put it here unless you go back to the house and wipe this ridiculous crap off your face.
You hear me?
Pizza delivery.
Hello, Papa.
What the fuck?
Delizioso.
Derry, Maine, the hidden jewel of New England and home to Paul Bunyan. Take a stroll down scenic Main Street and grab a burger and a milkshake from the Derry Grill. Swing by the historic Capitol Theater. See the sights from atop the standpipe. No trip to Derry is complete without visiting Secondhand Rose, because nothing in Derry gets forgotten. So bring the whole family and visit the town everyone's dying to see.